Tonight, Iran's chilling warning to the world as it returns fire on Israel. An Australian man shot dead in Bali, another critically injured. 2 teens accused of a sickening attack on an elderly man in Melbourne's southeast. A bedside interview with the luckiest man on the planet as the black box uncovers new clues to the Air India disaster. 5 people in hospital after a death-defying crash in Clayton. All 18 AFL captains joined forces to clean up local footy, and the Aussie Navy SEAL who's just swum the English Channel on his back.
Live from Melbourne, this is 7 News with Karina Carvalho.
Good evening. We're witnessing a major escalation in military strikes between Iran and Israel tonight, with leaders in both nations declaring worse is to come. America's involvement is also becoming clearer by the hour. So too the ultimatum the US delivered to Iran before Israel launched its ferocious assault.
Israel's Iron Dome in overdrive, intercepting ballistic missiles in the sky above Tel Aviv. Dozens destroyed mid-air, others slipped through, slamming into buildings below. Iranian retribution delivered in waves and aimed at civilian centres.
They started this and waged a war. We will not allow them to escape this crime. Iran's armed forces will inflict heavy blows to this wicked enemy.
Part of what Tehran says is its crushing response to Israel's audacious attack hours before. Operation Rising Lion, a massive aerial assault, 200 warplanes striking 100 targets, including Iran's missile factories and rocket launchers, wiping out its most senior military commanders and blasting the Natanz nuclear site. Israel says this was a preemptive strike to stop Iran from becoming the next nuclear-armed nation.
More is on the way. The regime doesn't know what hit them. They don't know what will hit them.
An attack years in the planning. Israeli spies smuggling explosives and drones into enemy territory well ahead of time, targeting Iran's defences from within. Israel is adamant the surprise assault was an act of preservation, but Iran says it's a declaration of war.
A chilling display of calculated aggression.
Warning there will be consequences for those who support the Jewish state.
As President Trump has repeatedly said, this dangerous regime cannot be allowed to have nuclear weapons.
America now withdrawing diplomats and military families from the region.
US President Donald Trump says he was informed about the strikes before they took place, saying he gave Iran 60 days to make a deal to scale down its nuclear program. On day 61, Israel attacked. The US president appearing hopeful the current climate will pressure Iran to the negotiating table. But with its top commanders dead, Iran says planned talks are off.
Benjamin Netanyahu declaring Iran has never been weaker, urging Iranians to revolt.
Brave people of Iran, your light will defeat the darkness.
The Middle East tonight teetering on the edge again. In Washington, D.C., Miley Hogan, 7 News.
These are live images of the clean-up underway in Rishon LeZion, just south of Tel Aviv. Rescue crews are pouring through the rubble of what was once workplaces and homes. Residents in Israel now bracing for more barrages like the one launched by Iran just a few hours ago. Here's CNN correspondent Nick Robertson in the conflict zone.
Look at this rocket behind me here. This just came down. We were watching intercepts in the sky above me, the early morning sky, and there was a lot of loud explosions and impacts. And you can see here, this missile here, right behind me, lying in the road here. It's still smoking. This came down. This was from the latest salvo of Iranian missiles intercepted. Not clear if this is an intercept missile or one of the Iranian missiles. Still smoking in the road here. Only just came down.
It's Nick Robertson from CNN. Despite conflict in the Middle East and turmoil in the US, Donald Trump has confirmed he'll attend the G7 summit in Canada. Political editor Mark Riley is travelling with the Prime Minister. Mark, this development has given Anthony Albanese confidence he'll get to sit down with the President.
Well, certainly more confidence now that he knows that Donald Trump is actually going there. There'll be a long line of leaders looking to steal a bit of time with the US President, but I think Anthony Albanese can feel pretty confident now that he will secure that first one-on-one meeting with the US President. They'll obviously discuss the dangerous escalation in the Middle East, but also the two big bilateral issues for Australia, and that's Trump's tariffs and the future of AUKUS. Here's Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles today.
I mean, our alliance is the cornerstone of our national security. I'm confident at some point in the not too distant future the Prime Minister and the President will meet.
Anthony Albanese has just landed here in Seattle, where tomorrow he will announce a multi-billion-dollar investment by global giant Amazon, expanding its network of massive data centres in Australia, mostly around Sydney and Melbourne. A big boost for Australia's tech industry and for IT jobs. And also for Donald Trump, more evidence, if he needs it, that Australia and America are doing big business in a free and fair way, so no real need for those punitive tariffs.
Mark Riley there. An Australian man has been shot dead in an ambush attack at a luxury villa in Bali. A second Australian was critically wounded. He has links to slain Melbourne underworld figure Carl Williams.
Bullet holes and a bloody mess left behind after two Australian men were gunned down in what appears to be a targeted shooting. A 32-year-old is dead, a 34-year-old fighting for his life. The gunmen remain at large.
So far, we are still conducting a crime scene investigation, then looking for witnesses in the field.
Breaking into their Bali villa shortly after midnight, it's believed masked men opened fire before fleeing on scooters.
Two people. There are two victims, Zafan Ratmanik, an Australian citizen, and Sanar Ghanem, an Australian citizen.
Police say 34-year-old Sanar remains in hospital and 32-year-old Zafan died at the scene. The Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade says it's providing consular assistance to the family of an Australian man killed in a shooting in Bali. DFAT also stands ready to assist an Australian man injured in the same incident. James Carmody, 7 News.
Two armed teenagers have bashed an elderly man and stabbed an innocent boy in separate, unprovoked attacks in Melbourne's southeast. Geordie Wright has the details. Geordie, the victims were both seriously injured.
Karina, a 70-year-old man and a 16-year-old are both receiving treatment in hospital tonight, with the young boy to undergo surgery after twin attacks late yesterday. The first assault happened here at Parkmore Shopping Centre in Keysborough. Police say two teenagers had stolen items from inside a chemist as they tried to leave. A 70-year-old Good Samaritan stopped them at the front of the store and asked them to return the goods. Instead, they bashed the elderly man, leaving him unconscious on the ground. The pair fled, and 2 hours later, police say they were back at it, kicking and stabbing a 16-year-old boy multiple times at a Dingley Village bus stop in a sickening, unprovoked attack.
You know, we get our crime, but knives that's going beyond a joke.
Until Jacinda Allen pulls her finger out and gets into the magistrates and that, we're not going to have any relief.
Police have since arrested a 19-year-old. He's yet to be charged. As for the second offender, he remains on the run, but it's understood it's only a matter of time before he is caught. Karina.
Geordie Wright, thank you. The sole survivor of the deadliest aviation crash in a decade says he has no idea how he was able to walk away as hundreds perished around him. Investigators hope the answer lies in key pieces of evidence recovered from the Air India wreckage.
Uncontrollable anguish, scenes repeated again and again. This man's cousin among the nearly 300 killed in the worst air disaster we've seen in decades. Families desperately trying to identify bodies at the local hospitals. This doctor, a resident, the hostel the plane hit, left with nothing.
all my documents and everything I had is already lost to me.
Confirmation tonight, 241 of the 242 passengers on board have died. The one man to survive now detailing how he escaped with his life.
Emergency door is broken. My seat is broken. Then I see the page little bit. Then I will try to come out.
It's a miracle, he says.
I can't explain. Everything happened in my eye. I can't.
A major clean-up operation is beginning, even though the tail of the plane is still stuck where it landed. Air India ordered to inspect all of its 787s with GE engines. Crucial evidence already collected, flight recorders and a DVR, possibly containing footage of the flight's final moments. Years of investigations now underway in the hope of finding some answers.
We know that the investigations will take time, but we will be fully transparent and will support the process for as long as it takes.
Last night, a small vigil in Sydney's Harris Park, home to Australia's largest Indian community, while in the UK, families are mourning relatives who never arrived.
We didn't imagine that we're not going to see them now, and the way it's happened, we don't know where they are.
In London, Jacqueline Robson, 7 News.
Police have revealed a 79-year-old man was the victim of a fatal house fire in Goldsboro yesterday morning. The alarm was raised after a neighbour noticed smoke pouring from the property around 9 o'clock. The body of a man was found when the fire was extinguished. At this stage, arson chemists aren't treating the fire as suspicious. From next month, power bills are set to surge by as much as 13% depending on where you live and which retailer you're with. The increase will outstrip the Albanese government's rebates, which end in December.
Energy retailers say the cost of keeping your lights on has given them no room to move. Another round of bill shock is coming.
The way we price energy takes into account a whole lot of components, from how much we need to buy the energy for on behalf of our customers, through to what it costs to serve our customers, and really importantly, what it costs to get the energy to consumers.
AGL's average household bill in New South Wales will soar $267, up $172 in South Australia, $169 in southeast Queensland, by $110 in Victoria. Similar rises at Origin, residential bills up $216 in New South Wales, $72 in Queensland and $122 in South Australia.
Power prices are about to rise by about $300.
Oh, great.
What's your reaction to that?
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
I'm a pensioner, so yeah, it's going to have an effect.
Retailers say customers should test the market.
At Origin, we'll always let you know if you could be on a better plan. You can also have a look at the government websites out there.
As for the government's $150 rebate, it ends at Christmas and there are no signs of an extension.
The policy that has now been in place for some time and that we took to the election.
The energy crisis continues unabated under Labor.
This latest price rise guarantees that energy will continue to dominate the debate here in Canberra. More rebates, net zero and gas will all be on the agenda. Josh Martin, 7 News.
5 people are in hospital tonight after an accused hoon smashed through 2 fences and over a pond before crashing in Melbourne's southeast. Residents heard calls for help before firefighters cut them free from the wreck.
Flying down a one-way street at breakneck speed in Clayton South.
I heard a car come whizzing past, sounded like a rocket that was coming that fast.
Seconds later, the Toyota wrecked with 5 people inside. 4 had to be cart from the vehicle and taken to the Alfred with serious injuries.
I came out, I saw a chap fall out the window.
Just bam. They say what's going on. They say it's a freak accident. After that, no sleep.
Moments earlier, the driver turned into the cul-de-sac sedately, then hit the accelerator. A kilometre later, he was going so fast the sedan flew over a dry pond, crashing through a factory fence.
For it to clear this gap, you can imagine how fast they would have been going.
Residents in the street have just penned a petition for speed bumps.
They just run up and down the streets, they speed, and it's very scary, fast cars going up and down the street.
Police say the car wasn't stolen and the man behind the wheel was the only one who wasn't badly hurt. But according to detectives, he returned a positive breath test here at the scene. Police are expected to interview the driver tonight. Jacqueline Stanley, 7 News.
Victoria's road safety crisis is being exposed with 15,000 potholes reported last year. That's more than 120 a day. The Mornington Peninsula topped the pothole hit list with 1,720 reports lodged in 2024. A Snap Send Solve app has been launched, allowing Victorian motorists to raise the alarm. Last month, the state government announced a repair blitz of almost $1 billion. All 18 AFL captains are joining forces for a new campaign to crack down on vile behaviour at local footy games. They're backing the league's zero-tolerance stance to help stamp out abuse.
Local footy should bring us together. But sadly, at times, it tears us apart. The AFL captains clearly shaken when shown examples of community footy crowd vilification.
Harmful, hurtful, hateful language.
It makes my heart hurt hearing those words.
Their campaign from the heart.
You know, I've got 3 sisters. It's still quite jarring and shocking.
It's just super frustrating, I think, to know that still goes on in our game.
It's a really unfortunate thing that we need to even have this campaign, and our 18 club captains today have said enough's enough.
Tell me why you want to use that language. I could say there's no place for that in the footy field, but there's no place for that in society.
Alongside the campaign, educational resources to help clubs enforce the AFL's zero-tolerance policy and to support victims.
Gave it to Impey, he snaps it around the corner.
Like Indigenous star Jarman Impey when he was young.
Vilified over the fence, and that just made me feel, I suppose, very sad and on an island.
One of the great things the AFL have been able to do is provide resources, because most of us people in clubs are volunteers, and you know, we're not equipped to cope with those types of things.
And the AFL captains want crowds at community footy to adopt the legendary Ron Barassi's mantra: if it is to be, it's up to me.
To be a bystander and to not say anything, I think you're somewhat complicit. Call it out, absolutely.
Nick McCallum, 7 News.
Yeah, really worthwhile campaign.
Good on him.
Yeah, Theo Doropoulos is here for a look ahead at sport. Theo, the Cats are making a move on the top 2.
Well, it's brother v brother, Karina. Only one of them will go home happy this evening, but there has been an injury scare for a star Cat. We'll have details very shortly. Also coming up, a hammer blow for the Blues as Sam Mitchell hails the Hawks' best win of the year. Oh my lords, a nasty finger injury to Steve Smith rubs salt into the wound for the Aussies in the World Test Championship, plus a huge injury to a star lion and carnage in both the US Open and the F1 in Canada. Karina, not far away.
Yeah, that finger with Steve Smith. That was awful watching that.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Theo. Well, first home buyers are ruling the roost when it comes to Melbourne's ever-changing property market. We'll explain all next. Also ahead on 7 News tonight, a truckie leaps for his life to escape a burning rig. The Aussie Navy SEAL who's just completed a marathon swim of the English Channel with a twist. Later, a whale watcher's delight off the east coast of Australia.
And if these massive daffodils don't give it away already, I'll have your full weather forecast live from the Cancer Council's headquarters ahead of Australia's biggest morning teas.
7 News, brought to you by Lifeblood.
1 in 3 people will need blood in their lifetime.
But only 1 in 30 of us donates.
That's the reason why I donate blood.
Mothers like me are the reason.
The blood supply is the reason.
You can check the blood supply online in real time in your state.
Levels change and can drop quickly, so Australia needs new donors every day.
You can be the reason we stop the drop. Search blood supply to check the levels and book your donation.
The farmer wants a wife final. 'Cause you're the laughter down the hallway that makes me feel.
I can't imagine my future without you.
To you I give my all away. Who will they choose?
I'm falling in love with you.
Love of my life. The farmer wants a wife final. Monday, 7:30.
Forgot this? Love you, Dad.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
The Nick Scully half-yearly clearance is on now, with everything reduced across the entire Nick Scully range. Everything is reduced during the half-yearly clearance. On now at Nick Scully.
Andy, can't stop, Ashwin. Loan application time.
Applying for a loan isn't as hard as you think. With an easy online application, ANZ GoBiz is the loan without the groan. Search ANZ GoBiz.
No. I added way too much sugar to my gochujang pasta sauce. What do I do now?
What if we turn your gochujang pasta sauce into some tasty cookies?
Sweet. Tell me how.
Add butter to the sauce.
What's next?
Mix it all together.
Done. Now what?
Bake it for 10 minutes.
Got it. So good.
The Snooze End of Financial Year sale is on now. Save up to 40% off selected bed frames. Plus, for a limited time only, take an extra 10% off selected bed frames on already reduced prices. Hurry, sale on now.
First home buyers are storming back into the Australian market with 2 interest rate cuts igniting a new wave of optimism. But financial advisors are sounding the alarm as soaring prices saddle young borrowers with astronomical debt.
For Charlotte Ziegler, taking her first step onto the property ladder was surprisingly easy.
I went to NAB first to see how much I could borrow, and then we started looking pretty much that weekend, and we found this place within a couple of days.
NAB granting her pre-approval in under an hour, the 33-year-old living in her dream home within 30 days.
I'm very lucky.
She joins a growing contingent of Australians taking advantage of real estate conditions that are leaving the door ajar to first home buyers.
It's been really pleasing to see those 2 rate cuts happen, and we're predicting 3 more rate cuts.
Victoria is leading the charge with first home buyer activity surging 28% over the past 4 months, followed closely by Western Australia and Queensland.
A 5% deposit or even a 2% deposit gives those buyers an opportunity to get in the market.
But financial experts warn those small deposits offered by some federal government schemes could hit home down the track.
It's just because the government says it's okay to borrow with a wafer-thin deposit doesn't automatically make it a great idea for your finances.
Particularly as the price of the average Australian home tops $1 million for the first time.
Buying with a small deposit often means you are taking on a bigger amount of debt. Sometimes lenders will charge you a higher interest rate. You could find yourself in what we call mortgage prison, where you can't refinance for a number of years until you get to that 20% mark.
Georgia Bennett-Murphy, 7 News.
A truck driver was forced to jump to safety after a highway crash that left his rig in flames, dangling off an overpass in Kentucky. He lost control and had just seconds to act before the burning semi-trailer toppled onto the road below. He was treated for minor injuries. It took months of planning and 12 hours to complete, but an Australian Navy diver can now lay claim to something no other man in the world has done. Ashley Semmons has swum the English Channel on his back, capping off an extraordinary recovery from the depths of despair.
The final metres of a marathon swim as Ashley Semmons staggers onto a French beach, struggling to even stand after so long in the water. His legs dead, but his arms just strong enough to raise his fins in victory.
Pride, happiness, a million different emotions that I'm still working through.
The Aussie War veteran swam 34 kilometres across the Channel in 11 hours and 49 minutes, setting a record, not for time, but for being the first to do it like this, on his back. It's called finning, a Navy diver technique.
I was actually going backwards at one stage. I was only 2Ks from the beach and then all of a sudden I was 8Ks.
40-year-old Semmens was a bomb disposal expert, almost taken by a bomb in Afghanistan, saved by his bushmaster.
We lost the whole left-hand side wheel arches.
It happened in 2012. 3 were wounded, Semmens with back injuries.
That point of being blown up and complete blackout, and then that feeling of, am I dead?
Just one of multiple traumas in his 18-year military career, but he came back from PTSD, turned his life around.
Looking good, Ash, looking good.
Though this one almost broke him.
Everything was done. Emotionally I was done, spiritually, physically, I was done.
His family waiting for him, son and mum.
You look like the wild man. Oh, wow, how about that?
Leaving England in his wake and maybe some wartime demons too. Chris Reason, 7 News.
Well, Tyra Stowers joins us from East Melbourne with a look at the weather. Tyra, we're looking at another cool night.
We are, Karina. It's very fresh out there, which is why I've headed inside to grab a nice warm cuppa tonight for a great cause at the Cancer Council's headquarters here in East Melbourne. Now, we're joining thousands of Australians who are hosting Australia's biggest morning teas, or in our case, it's more of an evening tea. Now, registrations close at the end of June for the country's biggest morning tea event, so there is still plenty of time to host your very own fundraiser with friends, family, or at work and enjoy a couple of sweet treats. Now, every single donation and dollar goes straight to the Cancer Council's work in prevention, research and support. But a cuppa might be exactly what you need, as it is still pretty fresh out there. We are sitting on around 10 degrees, but I'll have your full weather forecast coming up very shortly after sport, Karina.
Okay, thanks, Tyra. And this next story hits close to home for the Cancer Council. Melbourne doctors are behind a breakthrough new treatment that triples survival rates. Details next. Also ahead on 7 News, the American military parade 250 years in the making. You can't sit there. An oblivious tourist breaks a priceless Van Gogh chair in an Italian museum. And move over, Bruce McAvaney. 3 pint-sized commentators are about to take over the footy airways.
Go Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance. Save $1,000 on Samsung 75-inch mini LED smart TV, now under $2,000. LG 12-kilo front-load washer, now under $1,000. Save $500 on Dreamy robotic vacuum and mop. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman now.
Are you getting the most out of your energy? Switch to Alinta Energy online in minutes and get a helping hand for your household with a great value energy plan. Nice. Pass the butter, please. Alinta Energy. That's true power.
Harris Scarf Friends 20 to 50% off store-wide sale is on now. That's right, 20 to 50% off store-wide. Save big on bedding, kitchen, electrical and more. Don't miss out. Sale ends soon. Conditions apply. Harris Scarf. Great brands, great prices.
Booking.com has all kinds of stays. Because what's right for some
Is that a mirror?
might not be right for others. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com, booking.yeah.
The Plush end of financial year sale is on now, with up to 50% off a huge range of leather and fabric sofas, recliners and modulars. Save up to 50% off at the Plush end of financial year sale. On now.
Think Selfers, think Plush.
Health insurance costs causing blood pressure to soar, yet some still not comparing.
Sir, why not take pressure down by switching and saving? Comparison is best medicine.
It pays to compare.
Simples.
However you warm up, ENGIE has got a hot energy deal for you. Get 20% off our gas supply and usage charges when you switch your gas to ENGIE Saver. Great value and staying cosy. With ENGIE, it's possible.
Hey, Toddy! Todd!
Should have gone to Specsavers. Right now, get 50% off all lens options with any pair. Only at Specsavers. Limited time only.
What's that all about?
Melbourne doctors are behind a breakthrough new treatment that's tripling survival rates for blood cancer patients. Trials have been so successful, hospitals immediately started making it available on a wider scale.
Against the odds, 27-year-old Stephanie Jowry is happy, healthy and holidaying with family in Indonesia. It's hard to believe this is the same person.
I've been able to go back to work full time. My partner and I have been able to buy a house.
We're getting married next year.
She was diagnosed with leukemia at 14. Her first round of treatment was brutal.
Oh my God, it was heart-wrenching, but yeah, we went through it.
But the second time was different.
Instead of 3 years of treatment and spending pretty much every day in hospital, it was only 5 months of treatment, and I was home majority of that time too.
She joined a new trial at the Alfred Hospital.
The trial essentially shows that with a new type of way we can do the transplant, it makes it much more safe and effective.
The standard treatment involves transplanting healthy donor cells that attack the cancer, but often they attack the patient too. Traditionally, only 1 in 6 was still alive and without complications 3 years later. By swapping just one medication, success rates tripled.
Well, it's very exciting.
The Alfred is one of 8 hospitals around Australia that's ready to start offering this treatment to leukemia patients. Professor Curtis isn't here today, he's in Milan, and in just a few hours will present the findings at an international conference.
They're already using this as now the default for treatment because of how successful it's been. Is just amazing.
I'm so grateful. Just, we are blessed. We are blessed.
Christy Cooper, 7 News.
A protest against Donald Trump's upcoming military parade in Washington has landed more than 60 people in handcuffs. An 80-year-old man using a walker was among those arrested.
Put his hands in front of him! Put his hands in front of him!
The US is bracing for widespread protests during the parade tomorrow, which celebrates 250 years of military history. It's known as the Van Gogh chair, a small and fragile piece by artist Nicola Bolla, covered top to bottom in Swarovski crystals. In an effort to get a selfie, this tourist at an Italian gallery decided to sit on it, only for the chair to break. He and his partner scurried away, and police are trying to track them down. The MCG stage is set for Australia's next generation of footy commentators. 3 young fans are about to get the chance of a lifetime calling an AFL game for Channel 7.
A new voice for the future of footy.
What a disgrace. He's missed an open goal.
Right now, Ned Bolton is calling his mates on the school ground, but in 2 weeks it'll be at the MCG for the real thing, when the Dogs take on the Tigers.
I'll be doing expert comments, and we're going to go down into the rooms after the game.
Alongside Seven's team of budding commentators as part of the inaugural 7 AFL Kids Call.
Alex is going to be he's going to be calling for the game, and Indy's going to be a boundary commentator.
Leading the way across Australian sporting codes, the 3 young footy fans will present their own pre-game and post-match coverage, as well as a full match commentary.
We're here at Winton Oval.
The young callers will be guided by Collingwood captain Darcy Moore and Bulldogs superboot Cody Waitman.
Cannot wait, it's going to be so much fun.
Taking inspiration from on-screen heroes.
I love Bruce McAvaney.
Now the feeling is mutual.
Ned, just be a little bit nervous, not too nervous, be optimistic, do your homework, know your players, and if you enjoy it, so will everybody else. Good luck.
And that's what caught the eye of Channel 7.
What have you been doing during the off-season? Because I want to look like you too.
Woo! His own spin on 7's very own roaming Brian. With a fortnight to go, preparation has already begun.
I guess I'll also watch a bit of actual expert commentators, because I guess that's the role and that's what I strive to do.
You can catch the Kids Call live and free on 7+ Sport. Tyra Stowers, 7 News.
Good on you, Ned. Can't wait. 2024 Australian of the Year, Richard Scolyer continues to inspire, even in the face of tragedy. Up next, the brave bucket list goal he's just ticked off. Also ahead on 7 News, 2 men jailed over the Winston Churchill gold toilet heist. A magic moment for 5 generations of the one Victorian family. And straight after sport, a whale watcher's delight off Australia's east coast.
I'm not gonna hurt you. Dragons aren't what we think they are. I'm the first Viking who wouldn't kill a dragon.
First to ride one, though.
Let's see if this works. You wanna take first spin? All right, bud. You ready?
How to Train Your Dragon, only in cinemas now.
Felix, I know what you're looking for.
Felix Gravy Lover. Delicious meaty chunks served with extra gravy. Your little rascal will find it good to the last slurp. Clever cats get Felix Gravy Lover.
Go Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance. Up to 30% off Windows 11 laptops, plus limited time, get 10% of your purchase price in gift cards on Windows 11 laptops. Up to 30% off Windows 11 laptops, plus 10% in gift cards. Best prices guaranteed at Harvey Norman now.
11 essential vitamins and minerals, low GI, protein, high in fibre.
It's amazing what they squeeze into an Up and Go.
We squeeze more good stuff in, so you can get more out. Also available in no added sugar.
On now, the big whopping toy sale. With over 500 toys and tech on sale, it's too big to miss. Big W's big whopping toy sale, in store and online.
The Plush end of financial year sale is on now, with up to 50% off a huge range of leather and fabric sofas, recliners and modulars. Save up to 50% off at the Plush end of financial year sale. On now.
Think sofas, think Plush.
Are you getting the most out of your energy? Switch to Alinta Energy online in minutes and get a helping hand for your household with a great value energy plan. Nice. Pass the butter, please. Alinta Energy. That's true power.
2024 Australian of the Year Richard Scolyer has just completed another incredible feat. The renowned melanoma researcher finished his 250th park run, all while fighting terminal brain cancer.
A chilly morning, but there was plenty of warmth for Richard Scolyer, reaching a new milestone for racking up the Ks. For parkrun number 250, runners joined in from the Gold Coast, Canberra.
Thanks everyone for coming along. I'm thrilled to still be here.
The run's a reliable rhythm in his life as the former Australian of the Year has battled brain cancer, which returned in March. It's been a tough few weeks.
It has been a big goal. To be honest, I never thought that I'd get there. Want to get to 250 was something that pushed me along.
Along with family, side by side with wife Kate, daughter Emily did up the special T-shirts.
It is amazing, yeah. Excited for him to get here, but, you know, there were definitely times where we weren't sure.
I'm really touched by how many people came down, cheering me on and making me feel good.
Paul Kadak, 7 News.
2 thieves have been jailed for smashing their way into Winston Churchill's ancestral home and stealing a solid gold toilet. The 18-carat throne was an artwork worth more than $9 million. It's believed the gold was likely broken up or melted down to be sold shortly after the heist. This week's Property Pulse offers a unique opportunity on the Mornington Peninsula with 4 villas on the one block. Here's Sarah Jones.
It's rare to find a coastal retreat that offers both lifestyle and investment appeal. But 15 St John's Wood Road in Blairgowrie has both, with 4 villas on the same property.
Just metres from the beach and local shops.
This is a really rare opportunity set on over 1,100 square metres of land.
The current owners live in the first French-inspired Grand Villa and offer the other 3 as short-stay accommodation. They're private, with 2 bedrooms in each residence and even outdoor showers.
They engulf you when you're in the space. I think more than photos can justify.
There are endless opportunities to capitalise on this investment. It could be turned into a boutique hotel, a long-term rental, or even redeveloped. The property has a price guide of up to $3.9 million.
Rental yields down here for a 2-bedroom villa would be around about the $600 per week rent mark, and the Grand Villa would be around about the $1,100 mark.
They're very close to my heart. And I think now it's probably time for someone else to take them on and take them to the next level.
The median house price in Blairgowrie is $1.35 million, which is down in the past 12 months.
Even though we're now in winter, the Mornington Peninsula is still a popular destination. Expressions of interest close at the beginning of next month.
5 generations from the same Wallen family have gathered for a very special photo shoot. 2-month-old baby Sarah was surrounded by loved ones, including her mum, all the way up to her 102-year-old great-great-great-grandmother.
Just a tremendous milestone. Really good. Hard to orchestrate, but we got it done. Yeah.
Super remarkable, and it's the photo of a lifetime. Well, Theo's back with sport, and Theo, the Cats are sweating on a star defender.
And not a good sign at this stage, Karina. In the hands of the doctors, then subbed out. We'll have the details next. Also coming up, the Blues' faint finals hopes. Cop a hammer blow with a star ruled out for at least a month. The Test Championship goes from bad to worse for Steve Smith and the Aussies. Adam Scott holds firm as the world's best. Struggle in the US Open and carnage in Canada. Proof F1 life moves pretty fast.
On 7 News Sunday, the unanswered cry for help. A brave mother's interview set to rock the nation.
I can't believe it was my son.
Her heartbreak for her treasured 13-year-old who felt he had no choice.
He was crying out for help, wasn't he?
The urgent new advice for every parent. And the one thing this mum believes could save lives. A Chris Reason exclusive investigation on 7 News Sunday, live at 6.
I would really like to verse the Tiger Mum, Tiger Mum, Tiger Mum, Tiger Mum.
Be careful what you wish for. It could bite back. But the big money keeps coming.
My heart nearly stopped.
Australia's 5 o'clock obsession is the chase on 7.
Hey, Sue!
Bev, you're sitting on a monster.
It's my superannuation from Australian Retirement Trust. Big, isn't it?
I've got to get me one of those.
Awaken your super with Australian Retirement Trust.
The Domain half-yearly sale. Save up to 40% off indoor and outdoor furniture. Shop in-store and take a further 10% off a selected range. Plus up to 50% off cushions, lighting, wall art and more. Domain's half-yearly sale on now.
At E&S, it's our biggest ever end of financial year sale. And right now, you can save up to 20% off our kitchen, bathroom and laundry range. That's up to 20% off ovens, cooktops, range hoods and dishwashers, up to 20% off fridges, up to 20% off washers and dryers, plus up to 20% off our entire bathroom range. Our consultants are home appliance experts, and we won't be beaten on price. So visit one of our 10 showrooms today or shop online and get value the E&S way.
This is getting a little crazy. Full body chills. Feel goosebumps.
I guess you're in for a bit of a shock.
With more to stream than ever before, the one that you want is Dan.
How good is that first sip of a silky smooth oat milk latte? How good is a dairy-free smoothie that's high in calcium? How good is creamy without the cream? How good? So good.
Australians keep watch over their homes but ignore home insurance premium rises.
Hey, I have CCTV.
So while you know see, you can also compare and save.
It pays to compare.
Simples.
The King Living mid-year sale ends Sunday. Save up to 50% on Australian-designed, award-winning furniture. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Hurry, sale ends Sunday.
At E&S, it's our biggest ever end of financial year sale. And right now, you can save up to 20% off our kitchen, bathroom and laundry range. That's up to 20% off ovens, cooktops, range hoods and dishwashers, up to 20% off fridges, up to 20% off washers and dryers, plus up to 20% off our entire bathroom range. Our consultants are home appliance experts, and we won't be beaten on price. So visit one of our 10 showrooms today or shop online and get value the E&S way.
The Amart end of financial year sale is on now. Save 20 to 60% off all lounges, sofas and recliners, like the Remus electric recliner range. Save up to $2,000. Or the Sasha range, now up to $1,500 off. Hurry into Amart.
7 Plus is your home of State Footy Saturday.
Primetime VFL action, then the Saturday Rewind. Tonight on 7 Mate and 7 Plus.
This Sport Report is brought to you by Sportsbet, proud supporters of having a crack. Imagine what you could be buying instead.
Jeremy Cameron has fired Geelong to within touching distance of ladder leaders Collingwood. A win over the Bombers takes the Cats up to second, but it has come at a cost, with the star defender out with a shoulder injury.
A combined 1,000 games as players and coaches for the Scott brothers, and this one was going the same way as most of their duels, with Chris's Cats in the box seat early.
How many goals is thinking might be in store for him today?
It was Geelong's big men relishing Essendon's key position injury crisis. Shannon Neal taking Jez's lead, booting 2 in the first term.
He is a big kick. How big? That's how big.
The Cats were slick across the board, waltzing through an inexperienced Bombers defence to put 6 on the board by quarter time. Early in the second, Jezza had kicked his 4th, before a couple of things finally went against Geelong. Sam de Koning went down to the rooms with a shoulder issue, but did return after half-time as his teammates failed to capitalise on opportunities. A 50-metre penalty put the Bombers on the board in the second half, but it wasn't long before the usual suspects returned. First Cameron, then Danger.
Nails it!
De Koning eventually succumbed to shoulder pain in the third, subbed out of the game as Jeremy Cameron finally made a mistake.
Can you believe he has blasted it from close range?
Still, the game was well out of Essendon's reach.
Corner, they wait for the bounce, and Paddy's got his second.
The Cats set to make it 5 in a row. Xander Maguire, 7 News.
Well, a serious knee injury to Jack Payne added to Brisbane's woes at the Gabba. The gun defender was stretching off with fears of a ruptured patella, while GWS forward Aaron Cadman took a giant leap.
How's the arrival of Aaron Cadman?
How good.
Some prime time hang time.
Cadman finished with 5 to go with that handy mark. Jesse Hogan ended up kicking 6 as GWS ran away with an 11-point win. Carlton star Sam Walsh's season is in jeopardy after scans revealed a stress reaction in his foot, while Michael Voss still couldn't say what's wrong with Harry Mackay's knee.
A man down in WA. The Blues preparing for their clash with West Coast without Sam Walsh, who stayed behind in Melbourne nursing a foot issue.
Not something we wanted to find out of the back of training. Unfortunately, it showed a hot spot in his foot, and probably fortunate enough we caught it early, but all these things always come with inconvenient timing.
The star midfielder will miss up to 6 weeks in a major blow for the Blues' finals hopes.
It's inconvenient for everyone, so it's inconvenient for him, it's inconvenient for us. But he's a real pro, and once he knows what he's dealing with, he turns his mind pretty much into his rehab and just how he gets better.
No Harry Mackay at today's captain's run either, with Michael Voss not putting a timeline on his return.
We'll do a little bit more investigation. We're obviously hoping that he could do a little bit more this week than what he actually ended up getting done. Other than reporting knee soreness for now, that's about as much as I know. I think what we've got to do is find out that detail and then address what we need to be able to do, if anything.
Last night, the Hawks secured their 8th win in a row in Tasmania, currently sitting 5th on the ladder heading into their bye after a 3-point win over the Crows.
Adelaide, they're a good side. Like, they're very good. They're going to be right there. So it was probably our best win of the season.
Kate Massey, 7 News.
All right, let's get to some cricket, and a gruesome finger injury at Lords ended Steve Smith's World Test Championship. Adding insult to his injury, South Africa only needs another 69 runs to steal Australia's Test crown.
Fielding up at first slip, Steve Smith's head protected, unlike his hands.
Put down. He is so close there with the helmet on, and it looks like he's dislocated a finger.
His right hand's little finger damaged, the digit pointing in the wrong direction. Dry reaching in serious pain, bone penetrating skin. Rushed to hospital, the diagnosis, a compound dislocation.
We weren't really up to speed in terms of how gruesome the injury was. We just heard that obviously there was a fear of the compound fracture or dislocation.
Day 3 start, Nathan Lyon trapped for 2.
Yep, gone.
Mitch Stark and Josh Hazelwood counterpunched.
That's the uppercut.
Stark's first half century in 6 years, frustrating South Africa. Australia all out for 207.
And gone.
The game changer. Aidan Markram's unbeaten 102, his 8th Test century. South Africa 69 runs for victory. Australia 8 wickets.
It's obviously going to be a real challenge tomorrow.
Smith's final finish. This month's West Indies tour also in serious doubt. Andrew McKinlay, 7 News.
Well, 3 shots off the lead at his 96th consecutive major. Adam Scott is right in the hunt, but like all pros, he's been humbled by the brutal test driving the world's best mad in the US Open at Oakmont. Even Masters champion Rory McIlroy lost his cool, but Scotty scrambled to even par the best of the 4 Aussies to make the cut.
I'm playing old man par golf at the moment.
That makes the 5 under 65 from Sam Burns, or this first US Open hole-in-one at Oakmont since 1983 from Frenchman Victor Perez, even more sensational. Well, here's proof practice doesn't always make perfect. Charles Leclerc smashing his Ferrari in Canada.
Sorry, I'm in the wall. And he's done. My bad, I should have gone straight.
Lance Stroll put his Aston Martin into the wall too. Oscar Piastri was 6th fastest in practice. And it's getting a little tense in the NBA Finals. The Thunder were at risk of crashing to a 3-1 deficit. That's before some Game 4 heroics from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. From 10 down in the third, the MVP led the top seeds in a stunning comeback. The 111-104 win levels the series at 2 apiece. That's our look at sport for tonight, Karina. Don't forget the footy, the Demons and the Bombers, 7 p.m. on 7 Mate, and then AFL Saturday Rewind with the great Kate Massey.
Yeah, you never play old man par golf, do you, Theo?
I wish I could.
No.
Get me there.
3 holes in 1. We know all about it.
Not the US Open, though.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Theo. Well, watching season is off to a spectacular start on the Gold Coast. Locals spotted a baby humpback swimming alongside its mother.
These small splashes are a special sight.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
The first whale calf on the coast this season.
We have a baby!
We've been conducting mother and calf research on this vessel for over 10 years now, and the crew just go nuts when we have our first baby whale of the season.
The calf and its mum passed through yesterday morning, and already more have followed.
Yeah, we've seen two whales.
What was it like?
It's so fantastic.
A couple of them were just chilling and then a couple of them jumped out of the water. It was good.
They're heading north, chasing warmer waters to birth their young.
Whale season's only just started, but experts expect to see around 45,000 humpbacks cross our Queensland coast between now and November.
Rebecca Jensen, 7 News.
Tyra's back for a check on the weather. Tyra, we have another sunny day on the way.
We do, Karina. Great news. We're set to finish our weekend off with some sunshine before showers do settle in. Tomorrow night, I have those details and the full weather forecast right after the break.
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock.
ANZ Plus helps you manage your money by giving you an overview of your accounts, even ones from other banks, so you can think about other things like obscure German techno. ANZ Plus, less mind on money.
The Nick Scali half-yearly clearance is on now, with everything reduced across the entire Nick Scali range. Everything is reduced during the half-yearly clearance. On now at Nick Scali.
What's for dinner? A family feast? Or Friday with friends? It's easy with Coles RSPCA-approved chicken drumsticks, large pack for just $3.75 a kilo. With thousands of recipes online, what's for dinner? Coles.
Not your alarm. You'll sleep when you're dead.
Even that sore shoulder from yesterday won't stop you, because this will be the closest you'll get to a break. New Celebrex Relief. Works hard because you do.
At E&S, it's our biggest ever end of financial year sale. And right now, you can save up to 20% off our kitchen, bathroom and laundry range. That's up to 20% off ovens, cooktops, range hoods and dishwashers, up to 20% off fridges, up to 20% off washers and dryers, plus up to 20% off our entire bathroom range. Our consultants are home appliance experts, and we won't be beaten on price. So visit one of our 10 showrooms today or shop online and get value the E&S way.
The Domain half-yearly sale. Save up to 50% off clearance bedroom furniture. Shop in-store and take a further 10% off a selected range. Plus up to 60% off quilts, pillows, bed linen and more. Domain's half-yearly sale on now.
Welcome to the Lipton Tea Factory, where we pick the finest quality leaves that make this natural velvety cuppa the #1 tea brand in the world. Lipton Quality Black. Every sip's delish.
Why do you keep a little bit of everything?
I'm not a hoarder or anything.
What they're about to unwrap is truly bizarre. Aussie Border, next on 7.
This weather report is brought to you by Southern Cross Travel Insurance.
Hello again. A frosty and foggy start right across the state. We had some high cloud which pushed it through from the west, and those northerly winds made it feel a whole lot cooler than it actually was right throughout the day. Now, another fresh start in the city. We're down to 3.7 degrees, which does make it one of our coldest starts to the year so far. We reached 12 degrees and it's currently sitting just below that at the moment. Okay, let's take a look around the suburbs today. Partly cloudy with very cold northerly winds. It feels like temperature for much of the day sat around 6 degrees. Further out now, Bendigo had some fog and cloud which carried into the afternoon. This meant it didn't warm much at all, only reaching 8.7. Elsewhere has been quite frosty. Horsham was one of the coolest on -3. Now, if you are heading out tonight though, and you're in the northwest of the state, showers are likely to hit in the next hour or so. A high is moving over Victoria, which has brought us the cool northerly winds before a cold front approaches from the west, and this will produce showers tonight and tomorrow. Around the country tomorrow, Brisbane 22, Sydney 18 with a low of 9, Canberra 11 and Adelaide 16. Back home, showers about mainly in the ranges and along the southwest coast. With sunny peaks, Portland has a top of 15, Bendigo is 4. Closer in now, mostly dry across Melbourne, aside from a very brief shower later in the morning, and this should carry through until the afternoon. Sunbury is down to 5 degrees. 14 is the top for the city tomorrow after a low of 8. Looking ahead now, Monday is the top with a top of 15 with a shower or 2. Later in the day though, 9 is the low on Tuesday. Wednesday dries out and reaches 15. The sun should peek through on Thursday and 16. 18 on Friday and Saturday the same with a possible shower. But we do have another cold start to the day tomorrow, back into those single digits, but it is time for Pet of the Week.
Say hello to pint-sized best friends Wolf and baby Lasagna. The bonded female guinea pigs are looking for a place to call home where they can explore new places and have plenty of tunnels and hidey holes to run around in together. The laid-back piggies love fresh veggies and their favourite is Chinese broccoli.
And if you'd like to introduce some pocket pets to your family, head to the RSPCA website. Karina?
Baby Lasagna, a very cute name. Thank you so much, Tyra. And that's 7 News for this Saturday. Thanks for your company from the team. Take care and good night.
The 7 News app will give you the news you want every minute of every day, including breaking news alerts. Download the 7 News app now.